is part 2 of Thomas the Train is Crazy part 2 by Matt. Also, I don't know how much people. So I heard no. Yeah, I was not going to say that. And yeah, just subscribe. That will really help. And yeah, okay, we'll just channel too. Subscribe to our sister's channel too. No. You have to subscribe. She can't hear you. They can't hear you. I mean, they can. No. Oh, they don't. Okay, we'll just start, bro. Instead, just keep talking.
Large supply of coal.
He's crazy.
What?
That's the third load of coal you've had today, Gordon. Some might say you're being rather greedy.
Increasingly, engines would cause what appeared to be accidents, but in fact were attempts to get exposed to Welsh coal. But prolonged use would result in permanent brain damage.
Dealers on the set, violence among the actors. We knew there were a problem when Gordon started talking to the voice in his head, telling him to do things, bad things.
Yes, said Gordon, I will.
I like the music.
Yes, said Gordon, I will. जेव्हा आईला म्हणायचं असतं.
I love the music from there, bro.
एक बोल आणखी मार दररोज सकाळी ती म्हणते वरून एकदम.
Hit Logistics would mean to take Welsh coal research to its natural conclusion. High-speed steam engines would be pushed to their limit on high doses of the coal. As pressure from the media increased, and fearing more bad press, Project G1 was put on hold. Uncertain. Stage 1 stored away in what Professor Ruth called a controlled environment.
He dug his own grave, appearing in that documentary, as well as working at Hit Logistics. But he didn't see anything wrong in that. And so, just like everyone else,
Don't blame
Bruh.
me, burn in hell, blah blah blah. Who's this?
he blamed me for everything, even Smudger.
Smudger's story had been a children's favourite around the world.
Smudger worked on the Mid-Sodor Railway. The mine the engines worked on didn't make much, but it was enough to keep them going. Smudger was moved there because of his faults. His wheel alignment was off, meaning he'd come off the rails too often.
What?
Unfortunately, the cash-strapped mine company couldn't afford the repairs. Their solution would be barbaric.
They dismembered him, and opening him up, the butchers turned him into a steam generator.
There we go. Fixed it.
Shut off from all sensation, Smudger powered the mine for many years. Alone with his thoughts, he would slowly lose his mind.
When business dried up, do you think they come back for Smudger? Did they, hell? He were left there for years. Everyone had forgotten him.
Bruh.
In a way, it would have been better for Smudger if he'd been forgotten forever.
Sadly, for Smudger, salvation would arrive, but in the form of Hit Logistics.
Professor Ruth was still eager to find as much biofused material as he could. But Smudger had changed over time.
Smudger had remained in the same place for nearly 30 years.
What?
His organic parts were no longer just part of a steam engine. They had become shed. This would be the final act of Hit Logistics. closing down all their research and destroying evidence. Soon, there would be nothing left to even prove their existence.
That was what they hoped. They didn't count on one final desperate act.
Ah, something dropped. This girl is crazy.
Cranky had been driven mad by all the things he'd seen working for the government. But the worst thing was having to keep it quiet for all those years.
Unfortunately, Cranky's genetic structure meant he couldn't turn around fully, not without breaking the entire circulatory system to his head. Effectively, he was condemning himself to a painful death.
Bruh.
Painful death.
Bruh.
I believe Cranky knew the consequences, and he knew it had to be done.
But his wouldn't be the only sacrifice that day.
To kill anyone. He just wanted to show the world what the government was trying to cover up. He didn't know what was in there, all the damage he'd do. Damage he'd do.
Diesel had veered into the now secured stasis container of Project G Stage 1. Opening it up and allowing the deprogrammed biofused matter to assimilate any matter it wished, and to take on any form it wished.
Lads, I looked at the mirror. I looked at the mirror, lads. Lads. Any biofused engines in there didn't stand a chance. They were dragged into the chance. They were dragged into the canister. Got to see it in its natural state.
Bro, that's creepy.
The situation sunk in, government forces were deployed. This would be the only line of defence. But Project G1 was more than capable of defending itself, and would take whatever action was necessary.
Like nothing happened.
Gordon's alive.
It could now not be stopped. As it forged ahead, it became clear where its goal was. More biofused cells, more life, more engines. It could now not be stopped. As it forged ahead. where its goal was. More biofuel cells, more life, more engines.